And let's bring into the conversation Adeline Diab, Director of Research and Chief ESG Strategist at Bloomberg Intelligence, who has just released the Women Capital Report, so Bloomberg Intelligence Women Capital Report ahead of the event. Adeline, very nice to have you with us as we look ahead to our coverage tomorrow. So importantly, in your research, what's the big picture story around diversity and employing more women in your workforce? Does that diversity pay off?
So yes, the good news is that it does pay off. So companies with a greater number of women on their board have delivered 2 to 5% higher annual return in developed markets in 2018, and 2 to 6% lower volatility in emerging markets, in markets that are by nature more volatile, so helping weather those. So this suggests that, diversity as a quality signal that can help reinforce investment decisions, but also board conversations.
Walk us through what that means or what that looks like regionally. Are you seeing a divergence between, say, the States and Europe?
So yes, the States have led the charge initially, but the EU has been more at the forefront for the past decade. In some countries, we see numbers exceeding 40%, and actually we could see even parity in Europe by 2030. But the stark difference remain more in emerging markets, but also in some G7 countries such as Japan. But regulations and shareholder activism should drive progress. So, for example, in Japan, there is a new target calling for 30% of executive female ratio by 2030. This suggests over 1,000 women director appointment opportunities over the coming 5 years. So this could be a game changer.
Do you think the Trump administration reverses some of the progress that's been made?
So there are risks there, obviously, and we have seen some companies start to retreat from their D&I programs, but many remains committed. And I would say, basically, whether you believe that diversity is a moral imperative or not, at the end of the day, the higher performance linked to higher diversity shows that it has a financial and a business case. So this should bolster D&I programs.
All right. Adeline Diab, Director of Research and Chief ESG Strategist over at Bloomberg Intelligence, joining us around the table to walk us through, of course, this very crucial issue and the divergences, the progress that's being made, and, of course, what 2025 and beyond looks like. Tomorrow, of course, the opening trade will be live from Bloomberg's inaugural Women, Money, and Power event. We'll be speaking to Danielle Poli of Oaktree, Ann Walsh of Guggenheim, Joan Solitar of Blackstone, Ida Liu of Citi. And that's just a taste of the all-star guests that we have, and then, of course, the panelists at the event as well.
There's some fantastic panelists. We're just the starter.
Yeah, we're the opening act.
We're the opening act of this event, and then gets going throughout the rest of the day with some fantastic panels. So it's going to be really interesting to see exactly what their world looks like in a more Trump-driven environment. Mm-hmm. I suspect they're going to be talking more about their the investment story and what they see in front of them. But at the fringes, does that change? Does the performance metric, therefore, you could argue, if the data are correct, change if we see Trump pushing back against this? Yeah,
perhaps. And certainly that will get some airtime, but a lot of it will be dedicated to just hearing what these experts in their field think about global credit markets, about private equity, around wealth management. So there'll be plenty of those conversations, not least in our programme tomorrow. So we'll be joined by a host of, as you've been through, Kriti, a host of fantastic names, and highlighting some of the research that Bloomberg Intelligence has been doing on this front as well.